Welcome everybody back to my channel, or to my channel. I am Lazarus Prime, and I am back after a couple months of worth of hiatus. And today we are going to be doing another review. Today's figure is Studio Series 86 Megatron. Now, I have stopped showing off boxes for these reviews because I feel like no one cares about the boxes. I bet most of you don't. So, yeah, today we'll be kind of going into Megatron, and honestly, starting off, he is a great figure. For a leader price, I think he's good. He's worth it. He's big, he feels good in hand, and he also has a good couple of accessories. So yeah. Alright, so to start off here, we're going to look at the figure, because that's the most important part, the actual look, or at least for a lot of people, because that's where G1 Megatron shines for a lot of people. So we start off with the good old face. Pretty nice looking face overall. Nothing crazy going on with it, of course. There's no significant differences between the G1 cartoon, which is kind of the point. We also have a nice looking torso. This figure has a lot of good paint applications here. I like the how they actually detailed all this stuff rather than just put it on and then didn't have any color there. He also has that classic Decepticon logo looking shiny. He also has the red on the sides of his torso as well. His arms are pretty nice overall. He has, this part's a hollow, but, you know, the hollowness isn't a big deal on Transformers. At least as long as it's not intense. The back's pretty nice as well. I have the cannon here for accuracy. Originally, I had him without the cannon in the back, which wasn't accurate, although he looked a little bit cleaner there. But yeah, pretty nice back. He also has his good old skirt, I guess you could call it. It's pretty nice overall. You can do it. You can pose it in a lot of ways. Let me just say that. Going down to the legs, I think the bottom part of the legs is a little bit accurate. However, I don't fully know that. It's been a while since I've actually watched the G1 cartoon or even the movie. So yeah, he does have pretty nice legs though. They look pretty good. So yeah, that's it for that. So we're actually going to go into the articulation next, because this is an action figure after all. Sorry, let me actually get that a little bit further in. So we're going to start off with the head here. Alright, sorry, I have to position this thing. This thing is wobbly. So starting off the head, you can rotate it 360 degrees. You can look up a little bit. You can look down a little bit, although not much. Pretty nice. You can kind of wobble it around too. For the torso, we got full 360 twist. If you want, there is technically a back. You can technically make him lean back like that. However, it kind of looks goofy, so I wouldn't do that. As for the arms, you can go up, you can go down, you can twist all around like that. Nice bicep rotation, 360 degrees. Although it's kind of hard with the cannon arm. And you can also go like that. Pretty good. Elbow bend, I think it's a little bit over 90 degrees. You also do have hand joints with this guy, or finger articulation. So yeah, mind you, this figure does have he is prone to popping off his hand because this hand is on a ball joint. I'll show you real quick. So you can accidentally pop this off very easily, so I recommend you be careful with this. But you can articulate all the fingers. You can also have them point, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, that's pretty much the exact articulation scheme of Megatron, the Bumblebee movie Megatron, the concept art. So yeah, it's a pretty nice figure though. And then going down, we have a nice kick. You can kick forwards pretty far. You can also kick backwards pretty far, about the same distance as the forwards. You can go up like that. But luckily, this thing goes out of the way, so you don't have to worry about that too much. And you can also do a good old, I think that's a little bit less than 45 or 90 degree knee bend. And you also have an ankle pivot as well as a little tilt forward. Although it kind of looks goofy if you do it too much. But yeah, I think you can also do that. So anyway, that is it for that. We'll go into the accessories now. So our first accessory for this set, sorry guys, I'm in my Lego thing right now, is his sword here. This part looks like it's attachable, however, it's not very easily. I wouldn't recommend doing it, is what I say. There's a little plug on the back. You could put this on Megatron's back if you want. So if you, let's say you just want to have, you don't want this on the figure directly, you can just put it there. You can also put it in his arm, like you would expect, so, or on it, on his hand, or in his hand. So just grab it, and then boom. But yeah, it's a pretty nice sword. It looks a little bit small, but you know, it's what it is. And this is where you're probably going to experience the most of the hand popping. Like, you have to hold it. You have to hold his hand actively as you're taking the sword out, or else it'll pop off, which is kind of an annoyance. That's, I'd say, the only big issue with him, but I think it's fine for the extra hand articulation. Because, yeah, you can really wobble this thing around. But, yeah. Anyway, the other accessory here is Megatron's blaster form, which is pretty nice. You can attach it somewhere on his... I forgot. I think I have to go into tank mode in order to do that, but we'll check that out later. You also do have a peg, so you could have like a Decepticon hold it, or even an Autobot if you want to recreate that scene where Optimus folds Megatron to a gun. You can have like Hook or something hold it, or something like that. But yeah, pretty nice figure, or a pretty nice accessory overall. Nice paint apps. So anyway, let's get into the transformation. So, for the transformation here, we're going to start off with taking the gun off. So, first of all, for the gun, you're just going to plug this in. Try to make sure it's aligned. However, it's not necessarily a big deal if it's not completely aligned to what it should be. But, yeah, this is about what you should have it as. You see this little seam. It's hard to see on my camera because it's a little bit. But you can, if you see in certain lighting, you can kind of see a seam like that. If you see it kind of going continuous through, that's pretty much where you should be at. You also have to push this here, get this grab, and then push it forward so it's like that, because we'll need this for later. Anyway, the transform Megatron, we'll have to start with the arms. So basically, take out these arm things here, the panels that are on the forearms. So just do it on the same thing on both sides. Put the hands in, twist this around, and put them back. So make sure that's all nice and tight, or nice and tidy, whatever you want to say. Okay, Megs, let's go put your, okay, come on, buddy. Come on. Okay, this thing is being stubborn, unfortunately for me. It's fine, though. Yeah, when you make sure you have the hands curled up fully, it's kind of a similar issue to, not issue, but similar thing to the Bumblebee movie Megatron, where you kind of have to have the arms you have to kind of have them in a certain way in order for them to fully go in there, but yeah. That's done. So then you grab the biceps, or you grab the upper arms here, and you yank them off like that. Make sure you're careful with it, because the way it connects is kind of awkward. I did forget to mention on the articulation part that this kind of does that kind of slight butterfly joints. However, mostly because of the transformation, which you see there. All right. Then we're going to want to take this bad boy off here. We're just going to want to just grab it, pull it down like that. And then you're just gonna wanna break his back real quick, and then grab this and then pull it off, and then you're gonna see this little thing here, and then you're gonna want to pull it out like that. And then what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to grab this, kind of take it out of its position, twist this thing around here. Make sure it's all clearance is all good. And then you're going to want to put the head in the inside of the figure. And then grab this. Boom. We're done with that. And then we're going to want to basically accordion this thing in. So kind of make sure it's all nice and aligned. So make sure the arms are out like that. So that way it's a little bit easier to get that alignment right. Oops. And it's back. Okay, let's not do that. Make sure you're careful while you're transforming this figure. There's a lot to him, so yeah. I'm not even sure if this is actually the order they say to do on the instructions. After the first transformation, I usually just stop looking at the instructions, because let's be honest here, you don't really need the instructions after one transformation. But yeah, we got that now, so that's good. Now for the legs, we're going to want to start by moving these things to the back, lifting them up like this, and then putting them like that. So boom, we got that. And then there's a tab, there's a hole right here, and there's a tab right here. So just, there we go. All right. So then we're going to want to bring this around, make sure it's fully. And then you'll see that there's a hole here, and then there's a little tab here. So just bring that in, make sure it's all good, nice and tidy. So like that, make sure it's all connected and stuff. So yeah, then this is what it should look like so far. Nothing crazy going on yet. And then to actually do the legs, we're going to want to start by bringing this out like that. Do it same thing on both sides. And then grab this, bring that out, grab that, bring that out. And then we're going to want to grab these here, kind of put them out. And then what we're going to want to do is put these feet like this. So you'll notice there is a hole right here, tab right here. So just do that. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to kind of put these out. And then you're going to open these guys here. You'll see that there's these little parts, these shreds. Put those, take them out, and then put it back. So do the same thing on both sides. Take it out, put it back. And then put that in there to finish off the treads. So do the same thing here. So like I said, take it out, put it back, and take it out, put it back. So there, we got that done. Now we just need to put it up like that. So then we're good with there. So now we're going to want to connect everything. So first of all, you'll notice there's a hole here, or a tab here, a hole here. So just kind of connect it together. You'll also notice another hole, or you'll notice another tab right here. That hole is right here. It's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of get the gist if you see it. If you do see it, I suppose. All right, so then do the same thing on both sides. Make sure it's all nice and tight. So then we're going to want to look at these legs here. We're going to want to put them in, or these like parts in here. You'll notice that there is a little tab there, so you're going to want to make sure everything's aligned with each other before you do anything too crazy. So just do the same thing on both sides. Then you're going to make sure everything's flattened, so that should be good. Then go around here. You're going to want to make the toe, put the toe like this, so kind of make it go down. And then you'll see that there's a hole here, tab here, and then you're going to want to connect it together, connect it in there. Like that. Okay, there we go. Make sure it's all good, nice and tight, put together. This does fall out pretty easily, but you know, you get what you get, I suppose. So now, for the last step, we're going to want to put these things to this side, so you notice like that the holes are on top here. And then you're going to want to just put the cannon in. So just make sure it's all good. Kind of have it on top of this assembly here. And you're gonna notice a tab here, hole here. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see, but you put it in like that. If you'd let me, come on, going. There we go. Good boy. And then boom, we have finished his good old tank mode transformation. So that is it for that. So going into the actual tank mode itself, it looks good. It looks like a tank. I like it. Placement wise, you can put the good old sword on the side here, if I can remember what to say. So just put the sword here. You could put the sword on top too, although it kind of looks goofy. I don't know what this is for. I actually don't think I've ever put the gun on this mode before, so sorry if I'm not exactly too familiar with this figure. It's here somewhere, that's for sure. There's a hole here. I don't know, but you could probably just put it on top, and it'd look reasonably fine. But yeah, it's a pretty nice mode overall. I do want to go into size comparisons after this. So yeah, because I actually forgot to do that when I was in robot mode. But you know, you do what you do. Yeah, but that's it for the tank mode. Pretty nice overall. So we're going to go into the comparisons. So the last thing to go over in this good old video is the size comparisons. I'm sorry guys, I'm currently trying to adjust my camera so that way it doesn't fall over onto my face. So yeah, first of all, we're going to start off with Studio Series 86 Jazz. About half his size, give or take, a little bit larger. But yeah, he's a little bit lopsided, but you can kind of get the gist from the figures, or from the figure's height. Next we have Studio Series 86 Hook. A little bit larger, but not insane size or he's not insanely large in comparison. And then we have Studio Series 86 Swoop, so fair bit larger from with the head crested the added up. However, in terms of like just raw head size, he's about the same. He's still a little bit larger when it comes to without the crest, but he isn't like significantly larger or anything like that. So yeah, he's also in an A stance. So yeah. Anyway, that is it for the video. I will see you guys later. Bye.